Hello, and welcome back to the third episode of the Marzano's Teaching and Learning Strategies. Again, this is Edward. So let's just have a recap of what we studied in the first two episodes. The first one was about identifying similarities and differences. So this can help students to display ideas by comparison using diagrams and charts. The second episode focused on summarizing and note taking. Basically, this can help students become better and efficient studying and learning. Now, we are going to talk about reinforcing effort and providing recognition. So that's right. Recognition and effort are two things that are important in a classroom. This way, if a student can exert effort in studying, then we can ensure quality and better learning. Now, for recognition, it's important that we don't miss out on anything that the student has done good. This way, the student will be encouraged to study even further. So, if you're going to think about it, it's always about how well the student studied and how well we can recognize that. So, it's not a good thing if the student is studying so hard and nobody's noticing that versus the student is doing nothing and then we are noticing this. So it should be equal, and it's important that students or teachers rather reward based on standards of performance. So teachers should be able to use symbolic recognition rather than rewards that you know that they can actually purchase themselves. It's important that we recognize their efforts and recognize them based on something that they can be proud of. Okay? So, in this episode, we are going to talk about two things in particular. Okay? We're going to separate recognizing, reinforcing effort, and providing recognition. So, um, as you notice, it's important to directly tell students that their effort will lead to success. And we don't just praise students for what is expected, we only give them when it's earned. So, let's talk about reinforcing effort. Okay? So, according to Marzano, it's important that we teach students that effort can improve their achievement. It's important to tell them that hard work can equate to success in the future, which is not always the case, but we all know that hardworking people, most of the time, they get something in return. And it's important that we encourage our students to exert effort in whatever they do. Okay? So we also ask students to chart their effort and their achievement. This way, we are going to make our students record whatever effort they've done and so that they can see how well they performed. This way, we create association between what they do and the the result of what they did, right? And then we also establish a rationale for recognition. So they should understand that recognizing what they do is not always a give and take thing. There should be some basis for why they're doing this and why it's important that they get this. And then we follow guidelines for effective and ineffective race. So, like what I said, it's not give and take. There should be a basis on when we should praise our students and when it's not really effective doing it. Okay? We can also use recognition tokens. It doesn't always have to be a real object. It could be in a form of certifications or it could be in the form of notes. Okay? And then we will be learning about the pause, prompt, and praise technique. Okay? So let's teach about effort. All right? So effort, we all know effort is a way of students to give more than what is normal. Or if you're not gonna act on something, then there's nothing that will happen. And so the act itself is what we call the effort. Okay? So we are doing this so that the students can be motivated into doing what they have to do. All right. So sometimes they don't realize the relationship between effort and achievement. And like what I said earlier, they always go together. So if a student exerted effort, then most of the time the result is that they get to reach their goals. Okay? According to Marzano, students who believe the amount of effort they put into a task increases their achievement actually do better. All right? So it means that if a student exert more effort into doing something, then it equates to them achieving more than the usual, right? Which is also applicable to anything that we do in life. If you are an employee, if you achieve or if you want to achieve more, then we exert effort into learning and to doing. It also applies in life, like if we are, let's say, making or in your hobby, if you're making or creating something, if you exert more effort than usual, then you can expect better results. Now, recognition, what is this? Recognition is a way for us to recognize individual students for personal progress. um, we always want to make sure that our goal is clear, all right? And then, as a teacher, we can provide concrete, non linguistic reinforcement and recognition for students' effort and successes. We can use stickers, drawings, awards, and treats. So, if you remember in your kindergarten days, we get stickers or stamps from our teachers as a way to recognize what we do. So, most of the time that ends there, but it doesn't always have to end there. Um, Students such as college students, it we know the feeling of getting recognized in a form of, let's say, awards or certifications, or just by simple mention from the professor. So this should not end. Just because we're older doesn't mean we're not supposed to be recognized. Recognition should happen at all ages. It should not end in children. Okay. And finally, we are going to talk about pause, prompt, and phrase. So this is a strategy that we're going to apply in order to apply the principle of reinforcing effort and providing recognition. So the pause phrase is usually initiated by the teacher, okay, where the teacher asks the student to stop working on the task for a moment when the student makes an error. Okay, so in a way, if a student made a mistake, let's say in grammar or in spelling, we pause. Okay, like we breathe, and then it's important that we pause because, to be honest, nobody likes dead air. Nobody likes silence. And so by doing this, we acknowledge that the student made a mistake and they can pay attention to what they did, okay, instead of ignoring that mistake. And then we do the prompt. The prompt here, the teacher will provide the student with suggestion on how to improve the performance. So in what I said earlier, we're gonna apply this in let's say correcting the students in their grammar mistakes. So by doing so, we're gonna help the student to um, correct themselves, and that will be helping them not to do it again. So here we're gonna do the praise phase. So by doing this, we are going to encourage our student by giving them the idea that they made a mistake, they corrected it, and now they did a good job doing so. So these three things should go together all the time. We pause, we prompt, and we praise. So we pause if the student made a mistake. We prompt by giving the student something to work on, by a suggestion, or by correcting the student. And as soon as they corrected themselves, then we praise the student for a job well done. And basically, that's all we need to learn about effort and recognition. For the next episode, we're now going to do the homework and practice. So I hope you guys learned something from this episode. And thank you so much. Have